Alright, hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda back here once again on the Outlast trials. In this video, we are going to be finishing off my coverage of the Kress Twins event. We're on part 2 of the event here on the Psychosurgery difficulty. The final trial of this one is going to be Shutdown the Factory here. Honestly, not my favorite MK these days, with the annoying potential of getting grabbed underneath the garage at the very start and just having to wait with no real recourse if you're in solo, but we'll get through it, and it won't be too bad, I'm sure, especially because if you shut down some areas of the factory and decide to take a garage exit, you can just lose the twins in that sector if you'd like. Of course, the main variant of being the Kress Twins is going to be them being out and about in the trial instead of the pusher, pitcher, or Jaeger. Nausea traps will replace the hanging sound traps with the poison purple bottles that will make you throw up if you run into them. Increase red to unlabros, times 2 psychosurgery, the remaining variators. I'm going to go with blind for this one. It can be quite useful for the ending where you're trying to get out the garage. Lock, breaker, smash, boosted, the normal stuff as usual for this. Let's jump into the trial and see how we can do to wrap up the Kress Twins event. And I do want to get started quickly and just run straight to the door because it is potentially going to be annoying if the Kress Twins do come out. Let's go max to the right and hope. Alright, we did not hear the gong noise, which generally means we are safe to do the full lift, and then I'm just going to run straight through to Sector A here. One thing I guess you could do, although it would be a bit annoying to give up smash, especially for this trial when you can smash open all the co-op doors upstairs, but you could just bring evasive just for that situation if you don't feel like waiting. And then you wouldn't have to worry about getting grabbed since evasive would save you. But yeah, not particularly interested in that myself. Sounds like that's Gooseberry coming out. It is not a guarantee that it is going to be the twins, considering Gooseberry is also an intermittent enemy in this trial. Nice to grab ourselves a throwable. And that's a dead end. Wow, what an annoying door to have blocked in our face like that. We'll have to take the walkway route instead, which is a bit more exposed as well at the ending here. I did see the twins down the hall out of the corner of my eye, so wanted to get out of their potential line of vision before getting hit with a poison vial. Posters can sometimes be a hassle in this trial if you're not looking out for them, so I want to make sure I am doing so. We're at 1 out of 3 so far, 2 out of 3 with this one. But yes, seeing as this is the last trial of the event, I usually will take this time to talk a little bit more about the event and my thoughts on it. I mean, this one being an onboarding event for an enemy like Jaeger onboarding and Bambino events is a little bit less interesting to talk about. We got our third poster. Like, there was no catalog, no real unique thing introduced. I mean, the Kress Twins are a cool new prime asset. I enjoy them as an enemy, but I do agree with other people's assessments that they're not as, I don't know, they just don't have the same vibe or really give off the same, like, energy as the other primes in a way. It's a little bit, I mean, I just find a big part of it really being the fact that not only is it hard to hear them, when you do hear them, they're mostly talking to each other. Whereas the primes, the other primes, like Coil, Franco, Gooseberry, all of them really, generally talk about or address or taunt you in particular, or the reagents themselves, rather than just, you know, I mean, it is a lot of yapping about nonsense, but, you know, I don't know. That's just something I've noticed that has kind of given me that similar feeling that, as other people have echoed, that they're just not, there's something missing about them, I guess. I don't really know. It's like, they're still cool, and I like the enemy and everything, but as far as their impact as a prime, I think it is a little bit lesser than the others. And maybe also that is partially fueled by their lack of a big introductory scene, which I know has been beat to death and is debatably not even a big deal, but I figured I'd mention that as well. Their impact pretty heavily depended on what the trial was, of course, in the event, although I generally found, okay, I mean, they're obviously going to be less impactful than something like the Jaeger, who constantly stalks and then can one-hit kill you. So that's not really a fair comparison to make. But, I mean, it is hard not to do so, given this is the same sort of event. They definitely felt less impactful to have in the trials than anything else. If anything, the shopping mall was much more difficult than other trials because it could still have the pitcher and the Jaeger and the pusher coming out instead of the Kress Twins, I guess, is an interesting thing to think about in that regard. But overall, I enjoyed it. And as far as the future is concerned, I am not 100% sure what we're getting next. I think it's going to be no running, if I'm not... or not no running, sorry. Stamp surplus, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they said they were going to be running a stamp surplus event at the start of the season, so I assume that'll be coming here to help people who don't quite have enough stamps to get, you know, the new catalog items or different things that they want. I, of course, am bordering on 70,000 stamps at this point, so I don't really care too much about that, but I will still cover the trial set if it is just a normal sort of weekly type event. And then after that, the normal routine therapies are going to be resuming. One of them is going to be no running, so that will be an interesting one to cover. Very challenging variator, for sure. Are we seriously... is someone really coming out again right at this time? So annoying. Oh wait, it's actually in here. That's doable then. Okay, good. Fucking bug landed on my hand like a little fly. That was a weird feeling. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. There's a couple of other new routine therapies that they listed, and I don't know why. How I don't know, just randomly a fly down here. But a couple of other new ones that they listed. I think one was called like Confined or something. I don't know. I'd have to look at the list again. But I'm always looking forward to new ones, and we'll obviously be covering all those, get a new poster and stuff. But I'm also looking forward to getting back to the educational stuff. So I'll probably try, maybe before I upload anything on Stamp Surplus, or maybe after it, I will do the next educational video. But I'll decide that at a later point. I'm not going to make that commitment now, but you pretty little thing. More educational content is coming, no matter the result or the timing of it. Let's get to our... and this is why I took blind, to protect us safely from anybody while doing this. It's much more important to have on a in a group because the lift is so much slower. In solo it's quite quick, but it still helps. Smash the like button down below. Of course, I forgot to mention that. I was too busy yapping about the event, but I hope those thoughts overall make sense. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments. And also, the task list for this event was a little bit lackluster. Something else I could maybe mention as well. It was not all that interesting. A plus 7 minutes 21 seconds shut down the fact Kress Twins psychosurgery here, and that's the event done. I believe that was a flawless as well, so pretty solid. Yeah, that trial being one of the ones I've done so many times that I can mostly just autopilot it at this point. Yeah, I do want to pull that up here once we get back to the sleep room. Just quickly look at the list and see what it looks like, because I remember it not being all that inspiring. But I mean, again, without there being a unique mechanic for the event, there's hardly too much they can do aside from mess around with the yeah, I mean, it was just a bit of a shorter one than usual, like only completing 5. I think it was mostly normally like 8 or something for the others. But yeah, like just throw projectiles. Destroying the nausea traps was pretty cool, but yeah, these like not very interesting. And then these all, you know, just doing these two, just completing them is. I mean, I like how they have one that calls out psychosurgery in particular. I enjoyed that. That was something cool from Nostophobia. You know, I guess comparing to Nostophobia is going to be always a losing battle for the other side, but I think I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if we continue getting an interesting and detailed task list for upcoming trials like no running for the upcoming routines. I don't think Stamp Surplus will have anything too interesting, but I wonder if they will continue being more themed around the actual routine therapy itself. I do hope so. Destroy 15 nausea traps in single trial, pretty cool one, but yeah, overall, I think a little bit lackluster in comparison to some other events. But either way, that's just normally what we would expect from an onboarding event to begin with. I personally kind of feel like they shouldn't have the requirement of every single event being a full month long, especially if it doesn't have a catalog like this one. I think it could be beneficial to just have an onboarding event be like a 2-week long one. Maybe the trials rotate after 1 week if they really want to do that. But I don't know. It just seems like it would be maybe a bit better to have things switch up a little bit more often than having these month-long things. But yeah, not sure what our next event is going to be. Obviously, we have the Halloween event to look forward to. I guess it's possible that that will be our next event, depending on how long Stamp Surplus goes and how many routines they want to run in between. But whenever there's more news, like a calendar or any information like that about what's coming next, I will be, of course, covering that here on the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to be it for this video. Of course, follow my Twitch, join my Discord, links in the description. I stream almost every day, every evening, somewhere between 7 and 8 Eastern, so tune in if you'd like to catch me live grinding Escalation. And big shout out to all my channel members, names popping up on the screen here. Special shout out to Laura for being the Reborn Reagent tier. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.